Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic and Movie Show. My name is Sean, and today I'm here to give you my review of Castlevania Season 3. Now, Castlevania is one of Netflix's latest attempts at recreating... Netflix is just greenlighting a bunch of stuff. They got I've heard rumors of a Devil May Cry show. They got The Witcher going. There's many different video games / animated / they're just greenlighting stuff left and right. They got a One Piece movie about to come out. They had a Death Note movie coming out. They're just greenlighting all kinds of stuff. But this is the one that worked the best. Castlevania is seasons 1 and season 2 are great. Season 1 is one of the most bingeable, rewatchable seasons of an anime or show I've ever seen. You can just rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it over and over again and get through it in one day and still have a blast watching it. Season 2 is season 1 on steroids. It's action packed. It's fun. I love Trevor Belmont. I love the speaker. I always forget her name. I think it's like Cypher or something like that. Like, I can't say her name properly. I know what it is, but I can't say her name properly. And obviously, Alucard. I love those three. They were fun together. Dracula was an amazing villain, was an amazing understanding villain, and the power that he had was great. And then season 2, they bumped it up. The anticipation, what would happen? Will Dracula succeed? You kind of felt like it wasn't succeed. It was more in line with the actual video game. But season 2 ended on a very interesting note. You would think that the entire show would be about killing Dracula, but season 2 ends with the death of Dracula. Alucard stabs Dracula in the heart. Dracula lets him stab him in the heart. He dies, and that's the end of the season. That's the end of the season, and it almost felt like the end of the show. When you watch season 2, you would be forgiven for thinking that was the end of the show. The way it ended, the way it felt, it didn't really feel like it was a lot set up. There were things set up, but it didn't really feel like anything bigger than what just happened, And by the end, Trevor and the speaker are going off. They seem really chummy, like they're in love. And Alucard is staying to watch over not only Dracula's castle, but the Belmont estate and the Belmont, armory, and just treasure trove of knowledge and weaponry and whatnot. So that's what Alucard's going to do, is he's going to stay and watch over this, because he knows that if he leaves it, that it's going to be, people are going to scourge through, it's going to be destroyed. Either beings of evil will get their hands on this, or, people are going to just, come and steal all the shit. So he knows what can happen if he doesn't do something about it. He knows that he has to stay to look after all this stuff, because he can't move the castle anymore. And he says it in the course of season 3 that, it's brought up, can he move the castle? And he can't. Well, he says he can fix it, but it would take a long time to fix it. So it's just he has to just stay and guard it. And he has a long lifespan. I don't know if it's as long as his father or normal vampires, but it's obviously a longer lifespan than most humans. So he's just like, I'm going to stay and watch after this. And season 3 picks up immediately after that. Maybe a couple months. I think it says a couple months after that. And the thing I loved about this season is, to me, the anti-Sonic the Hedgehog. When I was watching Sonic the Hedgehog, there are moments that you want to question and go, but hey man, this doesn't make any sense. Or, hey man, why would you do that? And they just act like it's not even there. They just run past it, metaphorically and, literally. They just run right past it and pretend like you didn't even notice it. There'll be moments that happens and it's just that doesn't make any sense. And they're just like, who cares if it doesn't make any sense? But this show does this thing. I was watching it with Seth. I told Seth this, and every single time it happened. Every time you ask a question, it answers it. And this show almost made me want to give it a 10 out of 10 for that. Is finally an anime, a show. Well, there's other shows that do it, but an anime or any property that when you ask the question, but where is this? When it's literally an honest question that's out there, it's but I don't know if that makes sense. What about this? And some animes and shows, they either just completely blow right by you, or they come back to it way later when you don't even thinking about it anymore. This show answers those questions. You go, hey. And I'm going to spoil the first episode. You kind of go, in my mind, I thought this. I was like, man, Alucard's been sitting in this house by himself, this massive castle by himself for months. That would fuck with me. that would really fuck with me. And immediately, they show that was fucking with him. I have this question of, there's no way in hell that the speaker and Trevor are just, because like they don't confirm that they're in love, that they're boning or anything in season 2, but they can kind of confirm that they do have a little bit of a thing for each other, but they don't really show anything. They just show her leaning on him, but we don't know if that led to something. A lot of animes like to build up this kind of stuff. A lot of animes love to linger out relationships between characters for a very long time. You like you'll never really see a lot of animes, especially shonens, where the characters who are going to be dating are dating while the anime is still going on. Like you'll never like Naruto didn't start dating Hinata right in season. They didn't start dating Hinata at the beginning of Shippuden. Now that would have been some amazing original shit for animes to do. But this anime did that. In fact, they went as far as to be like, I asked a question. I was like, there's no way, because, you know, a lot of animes have a lot of kid features in it, and like things that don't really make any sense, like characters who sleep together, or characters who are in the same bed together, or characters who are dating but not actually doing anything but kissing. And it's just like, come on, everybody was a teenager. If your girlfriend's that hot and she's that into you, you guys are gonna be doing a little bit more than making out. And this anime goes as far as no, they're fucking. They are clear-cut fucking. They do not beat around the bush about it. They do not linger that out. They do not leave you in suspense of going, oh, maybe they're not boning. Maybe they just, no, they're boning. And like every single time I have a question, they answer that question. There's another character who was really fun in this season, Isaac. Isaac, if you remember, was the African member of Dracula's court in season 2. He was the forge master, and he forges with knives. You know, he can make monsters that are under his control. He can make demons from hell that are under his control. And Isaac's whole thing is he had such a terrible childhood and such a awful childhood, who didn't have any kindness, didn't see any good in the world, that he just thought that all humanity should be eradicated so that we can start over, because there is no good in humanity. And throughout the course of that season, of the second season, and throughout the course of this show, in the beginning, one of the big questions I kept saying in episode, and I'm not spoiling anything, this was the first episode, so sorry if I'm spoiling the first episode. One of the first questions I kept asking myself is, but come on, Isaac, like you really never had a single ounce of kindness? I highly doubt that no one ever showed you kindness. And the moment I started to think that, someone showed him an ounce of kindness, and someone made him think, well, damn, maybe I got this all wrong. And that keeps continuously happening through the course of the season. And I was just like, man, this show's just going to keep answering all my questions. And then to get to the other Forge Master, Hector. Dumb, idiot Hector. He is a moron to trust Carmilla, who is like the definition of a bitch. Now, there's always a female character in every anime. Every anime has it. Every single anime has it. The female character who's sexy as shit, who wears red lipstick, probably red lipstick, or some kind of dark shade of lipstick, and it's just like so superior and so better than you and so above this and whatever. And you know, that chick who's a villain, who's powerful, who's a dick, who's manipulative. And that's Carmilla. And I actually love that about her, that she's just this asshole bitch who's just manipulative. But season 2, I hated Hector for this one decision, for siding with her. Because in my mind, I was thinking, wait a minute, none of the other vampires really trust her. Dracula doesn't really trust her, not really. And you're gonna trust her, Carmilla? You're gonna trust her, Hector? And then in the end, not only did it all blow up in Hector's face, he got the shit kicked out of him, he got humiliated, he got kicked into the dirt, and then the first thing you see is him walking, and she says to her companions, who I will get to in a second, that she had walked, because the last thing you saw her do is her plan failed, and they flooded the entire city with holy water, and damn near killing her too, killing basically most of her army, basically 90% of her army, and almost killing her. So she's got to walk back to her castle with her pretty much with her legs tucked between, with her tail tucked between her legs. But guess who she's got behind him? Hector, walking barefoot. And she says, and I quote, "I've had to walk hundreds of miles through different terrain in the snow, bare," and he's walking through that barefoot. Hector is put in, this whole season. Hector's put in this shit position. He's stripped naked. He's just shit on, man. He's basically made he's basically treated less than a dog by these vampires. But that leads me to the introduction of the sisters, of the vampire sisters. You know, the sisters who help Carmella run this kingdom, which is a girl, which is one named Skriga, who is the military mind. She's kind of big. She kind of looks like a man, but like she's a little bigger. And then there's Lenore, who's the diplomat, who I will get more into. And then there's the other one, Cassandra. I think it's Carnella. No, I think it's like Carnella, and she's more of the She's more of the numbers person. She's the one who crunches the numbers and goes, "This is how this is gonna work. This is how much we need here, and this is how much we need here to make this work." And together with Carmella, they are like this. I guess this cabal of female vampires set to take over in the absence of Dracula. And that's kind of a little hint that they've been putting the seeds out there, is that after Dracula died, there became this huge vacuum, and this vacuum in between all the vampires, that there was this opening because they make it clear, and I love how they do. They make it very fucking clear that as powerful as vampires are in this world, they can die. As powerful as vampires are, there are limitations. There are things they can't even do. Like, I love the fact that the Forge Masters can do something that the vampires can't do. You have to be alive to be able to do what Hector and Isaac do. You cannot be dead. So I love the idea that there are things that vampires cannot do. Even there are rules that help vampires, because you would think that even with a greatly depleted army of vampires, you think these 4 powerful vampires plus a small depleted army of vampires would be able to just take over any nation they want. But the truth is, they do a great job in the show of showing that not only if you are properly trained and ready to deal with vampires and demons, you can deal with them. It's nothing too insane. If you know what you're looking for, if you're ready and trained to deal with them, if you know how to, you can deal with them. They show pretty much a small army, just a small local army who've been dealing with demons so long that they kind of know how to deal with them. They just show this small local army kill a bunch of demons with salt and shit. It's a kind of an old school military tactic, because shit's waste. So if you get shit in a wound, it'll infect the wound. It's kind of an old school military tactic. But you see them like taking out demons with that. And so it's like, yeah, if you're trained enough, you can take out vampires and demons. So they need so the girls need Hector to build them an army. And immediately they send the diplomat, Lenore. Now Lenore is, like I said, she's the most attractive designed one, which kind of led me to believe I already knew where this was going. And you would know, trust me, the moment you see her talking to Hector, and the moment you see it all working up, you're like, I know where this is going. And it's going exactly where you think it is going. And Hector is a damn fool. Hector is still a damn fool. But anyways, this season, I've been going on long enough. This season is great. It's great in a different way. I don't quite like it as much as season 2. This season is a lot of table setting. This season is like Civil War. It's a lot of table setting for in-game. But like, it's just a lot of table setting. Like I said, this season's a lot of, it cuts back on the action a lot. Not to say that there isn't any action. It cuts back on it to kind of focus on more world building, on more feeling out the characters and filling out where these characters are, filling out how these characters feel. And the world feels just so bleak. It's one of the most bleak worlds I've ever seen, right down to the twists near the end. By the time the season ends, all the characters are in worse positions than when they started. And not to say, spoiler, not Alucard, Cypher, and Trevor don't die, but the place they're left in is a pretty negative headspace that it's almost like, damn, man, whatever. And it's almost like this kind of like cynical look at victory. They defeated the great evil, and they didn't really get anything in return except more honesty about what the world is and more honesty about evil never truly dies. But they don't know about the evil that's on the horizon that will be coming soon. But I don't want to get into too much. I want you guys to go check it out. So I give Castlevania Season 3 an 8.5. I don't quite think it's as good as 1, but it's only not as good because they cut back on the action. They cut back on the action, which ramps up near the back end. And they focus more on the characters and world building and introducing new characters that you haven't seen before, like the Vampire Sisters and a couple other people that Isaac runs into. And like I said, there's still... I want it more. if that makes any sense. I wish that there was a little bit more action. I wish that it could have moved a little bit faster, because because this season is a lot longer than last season. This season is, season 1, I believe, was 6 episodes or something like that. It was either 6 or 7. It was like, I can't remember. Either, was it 4? I think it was 6. I think it was 6. I can't remember. I have to go back and look at it. But this season is 10. This is the longest season. So it's 10 episodes. They're about 30 minutes a pop almost. And like I said, it felt like it went a little longer. It felt like they could have picked up the pace. Certain things came out of left field, but, you know, and I still don't, and I'm still kind of pissed off at Hector, so I don't even know how to feel about that stuff. But I give Castlevania Season 3 an 8.5. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I had fun. It did a great job setting the table for what Season 4 looks like it's going to be fantastic. So thank you guys for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.